everybody. I sincerely apologize that I had to cut that last video short. I'm back. I had a couple things I had to do. I was talking about this sudden friendship, this sudden overwhelming love friendship that CMC has with this lady. Now, like I said, I have not been on Facebook today, but just for a couple of minutes when I first got on this morning, looked through, I posted a little short clip just saying that I was going to come back and talk about this stuff. I would love it if people would put in their 2 cents, just because I'm planning on making some YouTube videos in the next few days that are going to be unrelated to her, and I'd love to get everybody's feedback on this. But I've talked about this on my YouTube channel, about how narcissists latch on to people so quickly. I didn't know it at the time. I've talked about how I came to know this man in my past, but I did not realize at the time that he targeted me. He singled me out and picked me for whatever reason. Maybe he saw me as an easy target. Maybe he had heard through mutual friends that I had recently gone through a breakup and that I had moved out. And that this big truck needs to go so I can see if anything's coming. But maybe that was it. He just thought, well, here's a newly single woman who's, friends with some of the people that I know and want to hang out and be around, and maybe if I get together with her, it'll get me in with them, or whatever it was. Maybe he was just bored at home and wanted something to play with for a while. I don't know. But I don't know if CMC made first contact with this woman or if she made first contact. She came over to play. She came over to go sleigh riding. To all of us, that's what we see, is this lady who just saw CMC out there, wishing she could go sleigh riding. And this lady said, well, I've got a sleigh. I'm going to come over and go sleigh riding with you. And maybe that was all there was to it. But the conspiracy theorists in all of us, especially those of us who watch her, think maybe this woman had her own motives. Maybe she was going over to see what she could see. Maybe she wanted to go get a better look up close. Maybe she thought CMC would invite her in, which none of us thought was going to happen. I think CMC really tried to stop her from coming, but having attention. Now, I want everybody to keep 2 things in mind. Number 1, there are people in the comment sections talking about how sad it is that CMC latched on to this woman and how creepily sad it is. Keep something in mind. She wants to play the victim. So when all this falls apart, she can say, she targeted me. She came over to me and she came over to my house pretending to be my friend. Now, we've all heard her say that about other people. They pretended to be my friend when they really weren't. She may very well want to be CMC's friend. For the life of me, I cannot figure out why she would want to be, especially after the way she singled in so quickly, like, oh my God, this is my best love of my life, my best friend love, so quickly after only an hour or so spending time together. Not really even sitting down and having a conversation and getting to know anything about each other, going out and having a hot dog or whatever, or a cup of coffee or whatever, a mellow yellow or whatever, just she automatically said, this is my new best friend. I love her. I have for a long time. I heard her say that. I don't know if any of you all heard that, But she said, I have loved her for a long time. Now that says to me that either she's been talking to her off the cameras, or they've known each other, or she's crazy that she says she loves her for a long time. Me love you long time. Because how could you say I've loved this person for a long time and you've only just met them? I will tell you all something. I know I'm going right back to the same old talk about you know who. He and I knew each other vaguely. We live in a very small little town, and we would run into each other from time to time in a little grocery store here or there, or you know, we knew some of the same people. I was friends with someone who he was related to, so we knew each other, you know, but it wasn't like we hung out together or spent time together. I would speak to him if I saw him in the grocery store. I'd say, hey, how you been? You know, and keep on walking. And he would do likewise. But when he started to target me and he started wanting to spend time with me, he would bring up all these times in the past when we would have run into each other. And he would remind me of, you remember when you came into the store that day and you had your kid with you and you were looking for this or that, and then he, you know, and I would say, oh yeah, I do remember that, because it would be so crazy that he remembered that he would use that to say, I wanted to talk to you so bad, but I knew you were with somebody else. That's the way narcissists are. They may know you for just a brief passing in time, and they will use nostalgia, and they will use what ifs, and we could have been together all this time, and blah blah, and they will make it into something that it never was. So she said they went to the same school or something like that, or they knew each other, some of the same people. Maybe they had known each other, spoke to each other in the past or something. CMC's turning it into that. It's something it never was. She's going to use it to build it up. As I always wanted to be friends with you. I don't know about all of you, but that would creep me the heck out if I had a female friend, a guy. Women, we all know how we would act if a man started, and men. If I have any men friends on here who hear this, if a woman that you met and spent 1 hour with started talking to you in that way, you would be like chewing your leg off to get out of there, because that's a huge red flag. And we would all be like, well, I'm flattered on one hand, but on the other hand, that's a little too much too soon. But CMC, as a narcissist, doesn't see it that way. What she sees is her opportunity. And once again, let me go back to what I was going to say about people saying how sad it is. Don't get to feeling sorry for CMC. Don't get to looking at it like that poor girl. She's never had a true friend in her life. She's had friends in her life. She cannot maintain a friendship. Because if I had a friend that I spent time with, and they said to me, I took a screenshot of every conversation we ever had, and I had my phone on record every conversation we ever had, and veiled threats of blackmail and veiled threats to run and tell something that you may tell your best friend or one of your closest girlfriends in privacy, about maybe something going on between you and your husband, or maybe you're having an argument, or maybe some other man has talked to you or something, and you would confide in your friend, and then all of a sudden, well, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. That's not a friend, and that's what CMC does. Her going, and I don't know the whole story about what happened in Tennessee with her and AKD, but AKD is either playing along and playing up this whole we fell out and we're not speaking to each other anymore scenario just to keep people off of her back, or they really did And she really did get upset that the cops got caught out and come out to her house. If that happened, that CMC was on there saying the things that she was saying and doing the things that she was doing about, the N word and trying to buy money for a Rona test that she really didn't need. And either AKD really did get her stomach turned by this behavior, or she knew it could possibly come back to bite her in the butt from her followers and supporters. So she ousted CMC to the public eye. I don't know, but I will say this: don't get to feeling sorry for CMC. If she has had people turn on her and she's never had friends to really be like when she was a girl growing up, it's of her own behavior. The man that I was involved with, he had buddies like that he would go hunting with. He had people he worked with that he would joke and laugh with at work. But he did not have any friends. He did not have a best buddy who he had been friends with for his lifetime. He was separated, I guess you could call it, from his own family, and he had siblings that wouldn't even speak to him, and cousins and just other family members who wanted nothing to do with him. Most people that really got to know him and spend time with him didn't want to really be around him because of the way that he behaved. And let me say this real quick before everybody starts saying, well, what did you see in him? He wasn't like that with me. Not in the beginning. They never are. You see how she's behaving with this woman. She's pouring it on too thick, too fast, because she wants this woman to love her. She wants her to be her best friend. If she has to, she will capture her in a rat trap and not let her out, if that's what it takes for her to keep her as a friend. And, but he wasn't like that with me in the beginning either, and I don't know if he was with the other people. Women, of course, women, he wasn't that way with me or the other women in his life in the beginning, or else he would not have been able to have charmed us and got us to trust him and want to be with him and believe that he was the one for us and the one that we were meant for each other, If he had behaved very early on the way she's behaving toward this girl last night, I probably would have said that was a little bit of too much of a red flag for me. But he didn't pour it on that thick and that heavy that fast. He would say things like, I always wanted to talk to you way back when we were younger, and I would run into you, but, you were with somebody else, and I didn't want to get, no problems started. He would remind me of things that I didn't even remember, maybe had never even really happened, but I wanted to believe that they were true. And that's the way that narcissists do. They use memories, nostalgia, music. I read a comment on Reddit this morning about narcissism where this woman said her ex, she found out that the man she was with, the narcissist that she was with, had another relationship going on. She found notes and memos between the two of them, this other woman. And he was saying the same exact things to her that he was saying to this other woman about his feelings and and things such as the same songs. He would say, I just listened to this song and it reminded me of you. And the wife would say, well, that's exactly the same song he told me. Reminded him of me, that's what narcissists do. And um, I don't know what the deal is with CMC and this girl. Like I said, I don't know if this girl is setting CMC up to try to get info on her, or if she really just wanted to come and hang out. It could be that she just wanted out of the house, away from her kids and her husband, and it could be that she just thought CMC didn't have anybody to go sleigh riding with, so I'm going to go over there and go sleigh riding with her. And then all of a sudden, I don't have any guys to get back home on. Now, whether that was just a passing, quick little comment, like, oh, I didn't even realize I was almost out of guys, not thinking that CMC was going to turn it into this whole, guys, if anybody wants to send her any money. Or it could have been that the two of them collaborated on that ahead of time and said, this is the way we can both get us a little bit of money. I don't know. And I don't want to point the finger at this woman and like accusing her of something that she may not, deserve. But she has to know that if she befriended CMC, it's very likely that that is what people are going to assume. Even if it's not true, it's what people are going to assume. Because that's what CMC does. She manipulates people. She uses people. She scams people. She lies to people. So you might be accused of being guilty by association. That's probably a lot of the reason why the people that my ex knew didn't really want him around, didn't really want to hang out with him. I had friends that he wanted to hang out and spend time with those people. And I believe that was one of the main reasons why he targeted me, because he knew I was really good friends with some of these people and that I would get him into that group. And I did. And I learned the hard way that the reason why none of them wanted him around, But I just wanted to put my 2 cents in on that. One, let me kind of wrap this up in a big bow before I go. Don't start feeling sorry for CMC about how sad it is that she has to hone in on somebody so quickly. Because that's part of her manipulation. Poor, pitiful me. I've never had any friends that stuck around. Everybody's mistreated me. Everybody's always been mean to me. Poor, pitiful me. That's what narcissists want you to believe. Number two, number one and number two. A big number two when it comes to a narcissist is we don't know if the two of them knew each other ahead of time. Somebody out there might know that. And this woman had to have known that she was putting herself on the spot, because all the trolls and people are going to start looking into her background. They're going to start digging to see if there is any relation between her and CMC. If they find anything, they're going to spill the beans. And they're going to contact her family the same way that people contacted these other people's families and say, you better watch out, you better not cry, And did she really want to be friends with CMC, or was she spying, or was she in on some conspiracy to gather information? Because I heard something else last night, and I know all of you probably heard it too, when CMC was talking about Ed wouldn't come outside and stuff, and that girl said he's a stick in the mud. That's another thing that people do. They plant ideas in your head to get you to turn on other people. And she might have done that purposely to say to CMC, or CMC may have said that to her, and she was just playing it back, But it's sad, but not the same kind, not heartstrings sad, that CMC has to latch on to people that quickly and display that bizarre love creepy behavior so soon into knowing somebody or spending 1 hour with them sleigh riding. It's sad, but not the kind of sad that some people might think. It's sad that she is that way. It's sad that there are human beings like that who are that evil and manipulative. And it could also be that she is just hard up for attention. We all know Ed hasn't been giving her any. Let's see, I was trying to think if I need to run in here to the store get anything before I start back home. I don't think I do. I just pulled in here to talk my head off, talk y'all's heads off. But I'm going to head on home. But, you know, narcissists crave attention. I've said this many times. I've talked about this in depth on my YouTube channel, that narcissists crave attention. They don't care if it's positive or negative. And in many cases, such as with CMC, negative is good. Doesn't bother her that people talk about her in a negative way. They're talking about her. She's relative to you know, she says herself on her lives, yeah, it's a shame y'all don't have nothing else to do with your life. Well, she's glad that you don't have anything else to do with your life but to talk about her, because she stays in the spotlight. Every little antic, such as her behavior toward this woman last night, is being talked about. I'm talking about it. I'm sure others on Facebook have been talking about it right now. YouTube, the people that have YouTube channels, they're probably over there talking about it. Everybody's talking about it, so CMC's right there in the spotlight, right where she wants to be. And she will say, I wish y'all would leave me alone, and I wish y'all quit talking about me. But she does not want you to quit talking about her. But that's bringing attention. People are speculating. I mean, I made a whole video about it this morning. Why is she standing outside so much? What's inside that house she don't want anybody to see? Has her and Ed got a scientific experiment going on in there? You know, everybody's just like, what the heck is going on in there? Why doesn't she want to show the house anymore? You know, we're all so curious. And our conspiracy theories are working overtime. But I'll be home in just a minute. I just wanted to talk about that because it's very bizarre to most people. If you've been the victim of a narcissist, you kind of are like, don't start to feel sorry for her. Don't go there and start to say, well, I see a different side to her now, because I saw a different side to him, and I know every one of you who hear this who've been involved with a narcissist saw a different side to the one you knew as well. They are always this poor innocent victim who was just minding their own business, and everybody turned on them. It can't be that so many people turn around and turn their back on the same person over and over again without that person having something to do with it, you know. Like I said earlier, what was the common denominator in the fallout and the breakup of all these friendships? It was her, and it was her behavior. So when you read comments, people say, that's so sad, it's so sad. Don't get to thinking it's sad, and I feel so sorry for her. Maybe I've been wrong about her, because you're not. Just give it enough time. Give it enough time, and you'll see the true colors. And that's part is sad, is that this girl who either is trying to play CMC, you don't play with a narcissist. You just don't do it. The best course of defense or offense or whatever you want, however you want to look at it with a narcissist, is no contact. You don't talk to them any more than you absolutely have to, if you have to. And if you don't have to, you don't. Don't try to twist and turn their words, because they will twist it back around on you twice as bad as you ever thought. Just don't play with a narcissist. Don't go there, you know. Or maybe this girl really did think the best of CMC and was giving her the benefit of the doubt. Thought, you know, all these other people talk about her and put her down and give her such a hard time. I'm going to go over there and be her friend. And she may really have intended that. I don't know. But she's in the spotlight now, you know. And people are going to start looking into her. Because look at all the other people that have gotten involved with CMC, and look at all the people that checked them out, you know. And that's really about all I can say about it. It's just very bizarre behavior, and it